Good afternoon. I hope you're all doing well. I'm Justine Carrion-Weiss and I'm here today to present my paper, Design Listening, What Designers Hear and How They Respond. So just a bit of background, this paper was co-authored with myself and my two supervisor, Dr. Mike Bailey and Dr. Nicholas Spencer. A bit of background with that. So through my PhD, I have been looking at rapid design-led intervention, which I have defined as high-paced and intense workshops delivered according to design principles, tools, and methods by design facilitators. Usually, they would aim at exploring with the organization their potential future, and they are leading to the creation of a strategy to realize the preferred future of the organization that is participating. So the paper Design Listening kind of was looking at those rapid design intervention and more specifically at Get Ready to Innovate, which is a series of workshops that we have developed and delivered at Northumbria University with our team of design researcher and academics in order to support SMEs with innovation readiness. So the format of those Get Ready to Innovate session have been adapted, but it was between, depending on the funding format, between 3 and 5 3-hour intense workshops facilitated by our team. And we were using bespoke design tools and methods. And the idea was to challenge the sole traders and SME leaders thinking and uncover new opportunities to generate new value within their organization. So far, we've run Get Ready to Innovate in 3 different countries. So it has started in the UK, in the northeast of England, through Creative Fuse Northeast, and we started that in 2017. We've done it in Armenia since 2018 and delivered it in the US in 2021. About this paper, we've been using constructivist granite theory as a methodology, and the reason why we chose this methodology is because when I started my PhD, I already had some prior knowledge in the area of investigation, specifically rapid design-led interventions, because I had taken part in Get Ready to Innovate before starting my PhD when I was working as an innovator in residence. And both my supervisors and co-authors, Mark and Nick, had also been working on that program with me. And we had such quite an extensive knowledge of the area of investigation, though we thought constructivist granite theory would allow us to kind of embrace that prior knowledge and experience, but also subject it to rigorous scrutiny. So design listening kind of came out and emerged from the data collection and analysis during my PhD, which is why we decided to write a paper about it. And it comes from, I guess, recurring behavior that as design facilitators, my supervisor and I have been observing amongst other design facilitators and the participants during the delivery and the reflection of Get Ready to Innovate. So in that paper, and what we're saying basically is that design listening, as we understood it, is two-faceted, I guess. One is around active listening and one is around what if question. So the active listening bit is basically around the listener processing the information in an appropriate manner and demonstrating their interest to the listened to. But it's also about the listener playing back what they've heard to verify that it is correct and reinforce that, well, they were paying attention to what the listened to was saying. And that active listening bit is also about establishing trust between the listener and the listened to, which is essential to arrive at a positive outcome in rapid design-led intervention. Active listening has also been used quite a lot in design and specifically inspired Kelly and Kelly when they developed their work around creative confidence in 2012. So the second bit of design listening is around what if question, as Lacey Kimball defined them. And there, basically, the design facilitators will be using design what if question to venture ideas, but also to leave space for the listener to respond and input their vision and opinion if needed. So design listening, as the way we understand it, with active listening and what if question, is about listening and having heard, but also inputting something constructive into the conversation, into in a way to tease new knowledge. And it seemed to be used to help participants of those rapid design-led intervention and get ready to innovate, achieve a greater understanding of the situations and the different opportunities within their enterprise setting, and shape a preferred future for their organization. So one thing that we found out when looking into design listening is that it seems that designers hear through the noise. So when we discussed it with the research team, we quickly realized that the designers were really, really good at shutting out the background noise and hearing through it. But more interestingly, actually, it seemed that it is something that they do quite naturally, and it's kind of part of their practice. And design facilitators are not just listening, they are listening out for connection, possibilities, opportunities, while also removing all the barriers and the noise. And like Lewitt say, they are listening for formed or unformed idea that holds promise. But they are also simultaneously listening for the bits of knowledge that make the bigger picture. And to achieve that, design facilitators have to ask numerous questions coming from many different angles, which can be quite intense and daunting, but also require trust to be established for the participants to be open and respond honestly. And because it is about building a holistic understanding of the design material in the situation, so to keep its substance, the design facilitators have to remove all the noise, aka like the abstraction, the buzzwords, and the jargon, for example. Based on what I've just said about building rapport and trust in order to really, really hear through that noise and participants being open, attitudes are very important in design listening. The attitude of design facilitators obviously are quite key in the way that they need to listen to empathize, not to judge. They only want to understand the situation of the participants in order to help them out. And this is something the participants recognize during the sessions and get ready to innovate. Specifically, some of them really, really emphasized and commented on the fact that not only the design facilitators did not judge them, but they were also very generous with their ideas. A few participants said that, facilitators were just offering them new ideas for their business, for the future of the company, without expecting anything in return. And this really helped kind of build trust amongst the participants and the design facilitator. And it is really important because the participants might feel very overwhelmed going through that kind of process. So that kind of relationship needs to be established for them to be open. And we need, as design facilitators, to ensure that we are while managing the participants' expectation, but also helping them to be open-minded and to feel comfortable sharing everything with us. So if we go back to design listening very purely and with what we have defined in the paper, there are 3 facets of design listening. The first one is challenge, which is when designers offer an alternative version of the truth, of the participant's truth. The second one is around probing, and it's when designers verify the stickiness of an idea. And the third one is around shaping. So it's when designers and participants start building new narratives hand in hand. So looking into challenging and offering an alternative version of the truth, it is about here, the design facilitator is seeking to uncover the most valuable version of the truth within the given situation. Different participants actually specifically commented on this, saying that the design facilitators question a lot the intent and the reason behind some of their decision that they had made in the past within the organization, or behind the things that they were doing. And then the design facilitator used it to bring a different perspective, a different lens, or a different way to look at it and reframe the situation. So challenge is about creating new meanings by first mirroring and paraphrasing what has been said by the participants, which is active listening, and then translating it according to our own perception and see if the participants agree. So for example, in one occasion on Get Ready to Innovate, one of the enterprise we work with revealed that they did not chase the customer for payment. And initially it was thought to be a time management issue. However, and through further discussion and questioning, the design facilitators identify the root cause being a lack of confidence, which the participant validated. And this is really crucial at that stage, because this is about establishing trust with the participants and proving them that not only we've listened as design facilitators, but we have also heard what they said. The second facet is probing, and it's about verifying the stickiness of an idea. In rapid design-led intervention, we do not really have the luxury of time. So we need to test out our emerging ideas as early as possible in the process to see if they and the participants, well, us as design facilitator and the participants are actually going in a helpful direction. So what if questions are often used here to venture a possible direction, but it's just a probe. So as design facilitators, you know, we might be asking, so what if you did it this way? Or what if you did it that way? And like that, what would you think about it? What would your company do? So we're using those what if in order to speculate about future possibilities to learn something about them. It is about knowledge venturing, and the what if there shows the participants that our suggestions are conditional as opposed to very definitive. So it allows us there to safely deliver and venture new ideas while design listening to the answer and see if there are stickiness or potential at all. So there, probing is like a platform for a proposition, and it allows the design facilitators to interrogate ideas. The what if allow the design facilitator to leave space for the participants to also respond and input their vision and opinion and values, which is very much crucial in rapid design-led interventions. The third facet of design listening is shape. And it's about building and enhance neural narratives. So here, the design facilitators and the participants start to co-reflect and assess their ideas, allowing for a collaborative process. So by co-reflecting, design facilitators and participants weigh arguments, reasons, evidence to look at potential perspective. So at that point, for example, we might be discussing the long-term plan for the participant and their organization, look at what they're aiming for. And together, we might have developed a roadmap, for example, based around their value proposition, which is kind of the designing of something that their organization can produce. But then we're thinking about what is the environment, what are the conditions, what are the capabilities, what are the factors, what will need to be developed in order to achieve that goal, that direction, and all of that. So we'll start looking at all the different components and go through them and see what might work for them, and produce a vision together. So this facet of the response is about exploration, and there both design facilitators and participants look at what they can build to arrive at the organization's preferred future. In terms of further research, well, like I've mentioned, this is part of my PhD and it has emerged through it. I still have 10 months to go, so I'm pretty much in the end of data analysis and writing phase, but we are hoping to do a bit more research around design listening, and especially while there's 3 bits. We've seen that design listening and reflective practice have similar characteristics, one of which being that both practices have the potential to take the designer's thought process forward and backwards. But feels like design listening goes a bit further than reflective practice, in the sense that the materials with which the design facilitators have a reflective conversation with are the participant individual and their enterprise, their knowledge, their practices, ideas, and ambitions. So as opposed to the physical materials Sean was referring to, they are very dynamic, responsive, and adaptable. The second thing is that it appears that design listening is kind of a catalyst for creative confidence, and both the design facilitators and the participants seem to gain confidence in their own instincts and act upon them, develop ideas, and contribute equally to solving challenges in the design situation. So this is something that we need to investigate a bit further. And then it's like design listening seem to be contributing to different calls like Light and Akama, for example, for researchers to study subtleties of participatory practices. And I assume that it would be really interesting to see what design listening might look like in different areas of design. So it's kind of the end. Thank you so very much for your time and for listening to me. I'm sorry it was a bit long. If you have any question, I'll be there at the end, or you can still email me or tweet me or whatever. Just feel free to get in touch. I wish you a lovely end of the day, and it was a pleasure. Take care and see you soon.